Hey everybody, and welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, Jack and Lady still on Lake Jackson. So this was coming from my little galley kitchen. And yes, that's the Living Between Paychecks logo in the middle of the soccer jersey. It's for a local LARP group. I say local, I mean most of Texas, part of Louisiana, and I think we have people scattered, Washington, all over the place. And they play Amp Guard and official sponsor, so we got them on here. So shout out to them, they're awesome because I'm one of them. I'm the founding member of that. But yeah, check it out. Like we got one jersey right in the middle, the target everybody's gonna be swinging for. That's the thing. Today's gonna be an awesome soup. I'm cooking this because I want cooler weather. I want the autumn to show up. I want fall to show up, excuse me. And I want it to get here. So it's just wishful thinking to get ahead and cook this soup here. Hopefully it's going to be great. Let's get into it. Before we do, be sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell in that corner. Get heads up when we do these as close to Tuesdays and Fridays as possible. Also, there's a link down the doobly-doo for our merch, man. We got all kinds of cool stuff like pot holders and fake hands and all kinds of stuff you need to cook. Not mandatory. We're just a small business. We very much appreciate it. And let's just get into the food, man. Yeah. All right, very simple soup this time. Very seasonal, I guess. You're gonna need some butter, just 2 tablespoons of that. You're gonna want salt and pepper, just a little bit, and just a teeny tiny bit of nutmeg. I don't know why they included it, but it makes it. You're gonna get 1 size tater, 1 good size onion. That is a big damn onion. You're gonna need 15 ounces of the pumpkin, the pureed pumpkin stuff, heavy whipping cream, and chicken broth or vegetable broth. You can do whatever. And I'm going to dress it because I had a little money in the budget, and I grabbed some really dark bread because H-E-B Bakery does that amazing. Goes here. First things first, we're going to skin both of these. I always do this off camera. I'm going to show you this real quick. I need, because you can wash it or whatever, but all you need to do is cut off the skin. So you cut off the little root part, you cut off the little hair nubbins up here as close to it as you can, and then just peel those outer 3 layers of the really tough like onion skin, and then you don't need to keep it unless you're making paper of some kind, onion paper, but yeah, that just peels right off there, man. If it sticks, just you can take a knife and cut it, but it's just super simple to reach in and peel those. Now potatoes, this was always the first job all the kids got other than doing dishes in the kitchen at mom's house. So again, usually do this over the sink so I can just feed it to the disposal, or over a bowl so I can take it to the pigs or the monkeys outside. Now if it come across a deep eye like that, or a cut or a tool mark, use the little point at the end. That's what it's there for, is to peel those out, because they can hold a lot of dirt and stuff, and that can really muddy up your soup, literally. So just give it a skin all over. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? See, this is a tool mark here. See all that dirt and stuff that was held up in there? Yeah, you just want to cut that out. Don't be just gouging out your whole potato with like a knife or whatever, but just a little tip on the end of your spud peeler there is great for that, right? That's what it's there for. That's why it's shaped like that. So just go ahead and give it a nice skin. Pull the skin off the entire thing so it looks like this. See? Nice and skinned, slightly holes, whatever. So you want to cut this down as small as possible. You're going to be blending this, so you're going to want a immersion blender or just a blender you can do batches in. So you just want to cut it down as small as possible. So just give it a nice quick chop, one end to the other, turn it, and then cut it again. Easy enough. Doesn't have to be super complicated, right? Again, you can cook it as one big piece, but it's going to take forever to cook. So just cut it down as small as possible, and you're set. Speaking of which, like I said, I'm going to use an immersion blender because I have one. But any kind of blender will work, man. Get your potato cut, set it to the side, put it in a cool bowl. Onions, same thing. Onions kind of cheat because they're already sliced into nature's chunks there, because they're all separated. That's a word. Because they're all separated, because they're all cells and layers. But just go ahead and give it a nice cut one way or the other. The other is really optional, because like I said, it comes apart and we're going to blend the bejeebles out of it with a blender later. So just give it a nice chop, small as possible. Don't hurt yourself. Again, that's right on top of the potatoes. So that's how much onion we're going to use. So get you a decent sized pot. We're going to put it about medium high. This is going to be 6 out of 9 on the settings on my stove. And you're going to get 2 tablespoons. I don't think you can see it with the camera and the lighting in here, but it's written on the side of the wrapper of every butter type that I've ever used how many tablespoons to use. I'm just going to throw in 2 here. If you have bigger potatoes or bigger onions, go ahead and add an extra 1 or 2. Doesn't hurt, just gives a little more butter flavor in there. But once it gets melted, go ahead and throw your potatoes and onions in there, right on top. Now get you a nice wooden spoon so the elder gods don't come and get you, or your ancestors' ghost or whatever. I don't stop people believing what spoon god's going to get them or whatever. So you're going to cook them about 6 to 8 minutes until your onions start to be a little see-through, right? When they start going a little transparent, your potato's still going to be a little stiff. Go ahead and add 4 1/2 cup of broth to your the pot. Just right on top. And remember, if it's not pouring fast enough, get you a knife and stab it off camera, and it'll pour a lot faster. See? It's like that bartender that cut you off. Right. So go ahead and put that in there. Remember, these big boxes usually come with 4 cups in them, so just get that, add another cup out of another one, or a half cup out of another one. Get that in there. You're going to get this and bring this to a boil, okay? Turn it up if you need to. You're going to let it come to a boil. Boily, right? Give it a little stir. That's nice. Then we're going to cover it and lower the temperature to about simmer, or whatever it's written on the thing. So I'm going to put it down at about a 2 out of the 9. And then we're going to cover it. If you don't have a lid, just use a plate, not a paper plate. That's a horrible idea. I learned that the hard way. Get you a nice glass plate, cover it, let it sit for 8 to 10 minutes. Pull it out. You see how nice and soft this is? Oh, that's good. Oh, the potatoes should be nice and soft now. So this is where you're going to get your pumpkin out and your blender. So go ahead and open up your canned pumpkin here, and then scrape it out. Now use a long-handled spoon is usually the best, and just let it scrape down those ribs in there, just because Jack loves that noise and he can hear it when you do it in your kitchen, just because that's who he is. Get it all in there. Give it a little stir. You don't have to stir it too much. Just make sure it's down in there. And then this is where you get your blender out. Now, if you got an immersion blender, just put it in here and blend it until it's all smooth. If you don't have one and you have a regular blender, go ahead and watch it. Spin. Like now it focuses. Yeah, like it's not when I'm trying to read anything. But go ahead and put it in there, blend it until smooth. Now, if you got a big blender, go ahead and you can take it in batches and put it in there and blend it and set it to the side and put it back in, all that kind of stuff until it gets all blended, until it's nice and smooth. Took maybe a minute at the most. It was very, very quick with all this stuff. It's very soft, so it blends very quickly. See how thick that is? That's looking nice. So now we're going to add some salt. We're going to do half a teaspoon of salt, which personally I didn't think was enough. I was expecting the soup to be savory instead of sweet. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of both your nutmeg and pepper. Doesn't have to be even to the top. I never do that. I hate scraping it just because I hate the sound of the metal on metal when I scrape my stuff across there. Shout out to Bridget, who gave us the little measuring spoons. So a 1/4 teaspoon is a tad, according to those. Again, thank you to Bridget for a shout out to that. She's over in the Pirates of Stormwall too. She's a great person. So we're going to bring this to a boil again. Now that we put the salt and everything in it, it's been blended. Get it, we're going to cover it, and we're going to turn it down, let it simmer again for about 6 to 8 minutes. And then we're going to, see, it's still kind of bubbly in there, even at a simmer. Now, we're going to get our wooden spoon back so we don't get beat to death by the spoon gods or whatever. We're going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Right? We're going to give this a stir, get it nice and blended, and just let it heat up. We don't have to bring it to a boil. We don't have to simmer with it. Just make sure it's nice and blended, it's nice and warm. Serve this hot, and you are ready to go. This is absolutely amazing. Again, it's all vegetable based. If I don't know why they called it for chicken stock. Vegetable stock would have worked fine. But yeah, this turned out really well. It makes a lot of soup with the amount of stuff that we're putting in it. It is super thick. It is super hearty, especially with the heavy bread, like the big, the heavy, like pumpernickel or rye breads or whatever. I like putting dark autumn breads with it. That's just me. Doc says those are a lot better for me than the white processed stuff, so I'm trying that. So yeah, try this. This is great for meal prep. If you're into soups, it's great. Hopefully for wish fulfillment, because I really want the fall to get here, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. But if you do it differently, you want to see me do it differently, let me know, man. Like I always say it. Tell me what you put in yours. I don't know if you could add any kind of meat to this and make it any better. This is really good. I generally don't say that about all vegetable stuff, but yeah, you gotta try this. Holy crap, so there you have it. It's really good. And just because the chicken stock is the only thing that makes it where it's not like vegetarian, so swap it out with vegetable stock or vegetable broth. Vegetarian, set, you're good to go. If you do it differently, you want to see me do it differently, let me know. Put it down in the comments. That's what they're there for. I will revisit this. This is a damn good soup. Bring on the autumn. I want all the pumpkin stuff. I'm that basic person. I get it. So tell us here. You can also tell us on like our social medias. We're on Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon. We're all those at Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. We're also at Instagram, Live Between. Had to shorten it down over there. Me, Osway Nerdy. I'm on all of those, including X. Fuck me. I mean, Twitter. I don't call it X. I'm over on Twitter and on TikTok. I'm really just talking nerd stuff, action figures, comic books, miniature painting, LARPing, that kind of stuff. And again, shout out to my Pirates of Stonewall. Very cool. And I will see y'all next time. Y'all enjoy the food. Please be safe.